All right, well, thanks everybody for coming. Obviously, we've had an incident yesterday morning with a high-pressure gas line. I think we want to make perfectly clear it was not an explosion like was first reported, but more of what I would call a pressure blowout. There were some crew members that were injured, and let's say, first of all, we want to make sure we have our thoughts and prayers with those crew members and their families. We will not be giving an update on their condition right now because we really don't know their condition. I just want you to know from the city standpoint, we're here to assist Atmos and anyone in any way we can, where we can get service back up to over 17,000 customers as quick as we can. I will be introducing a few members up here today. Police Chief John Quacka to my left, Fire Chief Brad Robinson, Atmos Energy Representative Bobby Morgan, and Northern District Public Service Commissioner Chris Brown. We will let everyone say a few words, and then we will take a few questions at the end. But again, we're here to assist Atmos in any way we can, whether that's security or communication. I think it's important that we just keep everyone informed kind of where we are and what the process is for getting everyone's service back on as soon as we can. We know a lot of people are affected. It will be an economic impact also to our city. So if you can, just be patient with us as we go through this process. So now, Bobby Morgan with Atmos.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good afternoon, ladies. Good afternoon, gentlemen. My name is Bobby Morgan. I serve as Vice President of Public Affairs for Atmos Energy here in the Mississippi Division. I'm joined this afternoon also by Ms. Michelle Whittle, our Operations Manager here in the area. I want to begin by acknowledging the injuries to the three contractors yesterday. I want them to know and their families to know that all Atmos Energy employees across our 8-state footprint have them in their prayers, and we're praying for a speedy recovery. I want to express my appreciation to Mayor Jordan, to Police Chief Quacka, to Fire Chief Robinson, to Commissioner Brown for the partnership, for the cooperation, for the support, and for the opportunity to be at this press conference. I want to share with you a little bit about what has occurred, what's ongoing, the work we're engaged in, and what's to come as it relates to gas restoration in Lee County and here in the City of Tupelo. So I want to begin with a few details. Yesterday morning, contractors were performing scheduled work on Atmos Energy's pipeline. These were qualified contractors that were specialized in the type of work that they were engaged in. While the work was being performed, there was an accidental release of high-pressure gas. The gas did not ignite, and contrary to some reports, just as the mayor said, this was not an explosion. As a result of the release of that gas, 3 of those contractors were injured. And again, we hold these men in their prayers, and we wish them for a speedy recovery. I want to tell you a little bit about our actions during this response. We turned off gas supply immediately from the upstream part of our distribution system to make safe for first responders to be on scene. And as a result of that, customers in the towns of Belden, Guntown, Plantersville, Pontotoc, Saltillo, Shannon, Tupelo, and Verona are affected by the outage. And we're working in lockstep with first responders in Tupelo and Lee County, and again, to Police Chief Quacka and to Chief Robinson. We greatly appreciate the support. I want to talk to you now about the work we're engaged in as it relates to restoring gas service. I want to stress to the customers, to the public, to the media that this is a multi-step process. The first step has already begun. In the past 24 hours, we've brought together resources from across our 8-state footprints, hundreds of employees from across the 8 states that we operate in, and we've begun turning off gas meters at each individual customer's premise. Second, we're in the process of completing repairs to our system. And then thirdly, Atmos Energy crews will need to go door by door to restore gas service to these homes. And for that, we'll need to have a person in those homes as a part of that process. I want to stress again that full restoration will take time to complete. This is a multi-day process. We have to do this in a systematic, methodical manner, and most importantly, we have to do it safely. So we're asking for the patience of the public, the patience of our customers. We will continue to keep all of you updated via text messages, via our corporate media website that has a landing page devoted to this outage in Lee County, and through press conferences such as this, as the mayor seems fit to call them. I want to say a little bit more about the gas restoration process. This is the final phase here, but this is, again, much more extensive than when we have a power outage. And so I want to walk through those steps for our customers, for the public right now. Your natural gas piping and appliances must pass a safety check. That's critical first and foremost. A resident of the home or an authorized representative of the business who is 18 years of age or older needs to be present. That needs to be the case because we have to have our technicians enter the home so we can safely relight the appliances. As I said, if you are not home or your business is no one is present at the business, the crews that are restoring service will leave a door tag with instructions. I want everyone to know, I want our customers to know that employees will be ready to present their identification badge, which displays their name, the photograph, our Atmos Energy logo, should you have any suspicions or questions at all. And if you suspect anyone that's not an Atmos Energy employee, you can please call our customer line, 888-2886-6700. Again, we're going to continue to coordinate with Mayor Jordan and the local officials on the ground. I think our highest priority right now is the restoration of service to what we call critical care facilities. We've turned some on last night. Some are being turned on this morning. We're working with the city right now to identify other critical needs in Tupelo. We're working with the town mayors from other parts of Lee County to identify those as well. And then finally, I want to say a word or two in closing that we've been privileged to serve Tupelo and Lee County for decades. We have an office here on Main Street. We have employees that live and work in this area. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience this has caused. And it's our commitment to restore gas service as quickly as possible. That's why we brought in hundreds of men and women from across our corporate footprint. That's why we brought in all these resources from across the Southeast. And Ms. Whittle, is there anything additional, ma'am? Mayor, that concludes us right there. Thank you.
We're going to do Chris now.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Bobby, for the update. As I said, first and foremost, we want to keep the three employees in our prayers. We did hear that one was upgraded from critical to stable, so we're thankful for that. Just keep the families and those individuals in our prayers, and I appreciate the service that they provide for us as individuals and for our communities. Our gas line, Public Service Commission Pipeline Safety Division was on the ground, and they recently released the site from their investigation over to Atmos so they can finish their work there. We want to commend our Pipeline Safety Division as well for the work that they're doing to make sure that everybody's as safe as possible and that the problem gets working hand in glove with Atmos to make sure that the problem gets resolved as quickly as possible. Great. I want to give a shout out to the mayor, police chief, and to the fire chief as well for the work they're doing. And we're ready and willing to stand by to help in any way we can. And if you want to get in touch with our office, we have 1-800-637-7722. You can also contact Atmos, but you can contact us as well at 662-432-1141. So again, we'll be here like the mayor and Atmos to make sure that we answer any questions that we can. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Just a quick recap of what actually happened at the incident, the response that was needed for the incident. The incident was at Road 660 and Highway 6. The actual 911 call come in at 9:05. At 9:14, they requested Tupelo Fire to respond at that time for the special rescue, thinking that there was somebody who's still trapped in the ground, could possibly be needing to get them out of the ground. At 9:16, at 9:21, we were canceled due to they had already had the patients out, and they were there. So I want to really commend the local volunteers on site. They've had a very good response to Plantersville and Union Fire Department. They did great. Pafford is a new EMS source for us. They were on spot. They had 3 ambulances available for us the whole time. It was a very good response. The Lee County Sheriff's Department was responding. Our guys made it on scene just to assist with anything they could, patient care, any of that sort of that was going on. As we're not needed, we're kind of looking at the safety of the citizens of the city, and we're working hand to hand with Atmos, and they are, if you hadn't seen them in town, you will. So if you see a lot of extra traffic in your neighborhood after hours, that's something they're doing. They're working, trying to get as many people out as they can to work this problem so we can all get back to normal. Thank you.
Thank you, and I do want to, excuse me, compliment Atmos. I mean, they have already over 250 workers here at the furniture market with out of 8 states, so they have been quick to respond. And, you know, this is a multi-department effort by everyone, and everybody has come together about as quick as they could. So we will take a few questions. We won't get into specifics because we don't know a lot, but we will take a few questions directed anyone toward anyone up here. Wayne? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Will there be any sort of update as you go along with the getting people back on?
Sir, there will, as I said, we'll communicate via text messages if we have the opportunity, if we have those text messages, those numbers of our customers. We'll communicate via our corporate website. We'll continue to revise our media statement, and we'll keep the public abreast of up-to-date information as we have it.
When you do it, say, for instance, I remember once before there was a disaster. They said, well, we're on this street or we're on that street, or that's the kind of thing we're giving, or what? Or would you say?
You know, sir, our messages to the public will be when gas restoration will be available for restore. When customers need to be relit up, we'll promote safety messages, and we'll provide information on when we'll be coming to their premise, their home, their business, in order to start the relight up process. It'll be a multitude of information that we put out.
Is there an estimated time frame as to when this might, we've heard 2 weeks, 3 weeks, could be days, any sort of timeline you can give us?
Again, it's our desire to put out accurate information. I cannot give you this afternoon definitive information on when we can restore. But we're going to try to, as the gentleman said, communicate with the public as much as we can on when that process will take place.
What is again, for those who, most of us don't know anything about gas as far as it, So how does that process work? The guy comes to the house, or the lady or the man comes to the house, what happens?
Yeah, yes, sir. Once we're ready for gas service to be restored to your home or business, we're going to knock on the door. We're going to knock on that business door. If there's a person there that's 18 years old or older, that our technician can enter the home and then begin the relight process. If that person's not home, then we're going to leave a door tag, and there will be contact information for that resident to reach back out to us, sir.
Right, and there's some issues. I mean, you have to have somebody there for the relight process because you have to make sure everything's safe, right? There's a
Yes, sir.
safety issue. Is that
Yes, sir.
right? With each home or business that we all have to check the box on. Is that right?
That's correct. When it comes to the relight process, I want to stress again that the area is safe right now.
Right.
We've issued no evacuations here. When it comes to the relight process, we must have someone in the home, in the business.
Have the repairs have they been completed at the site where this happened?
Sir, it's ongoing right now. And again, as I stressed earlier in my remarks, we have to turn gas service off. We have to turn meters off at every single premise that's been impacted.
So I would assume if somebody's not home, that could add to the amount of time it takes to get everybody back on.
It could, yes, sir, and that's why we're going to utilize text messages and a wide variety of communication outlets to communicate to those
Is there
customers.
anything else besides that might affect the time as far as getting everybody back online?
Sir,
Or
not
is it
that,
literally just that?
I mean, outside of direct communication to the customer, that's our most important thing when it's time for the relight up process.
The relight process, I'm not trying to make you be a technician or whatever. but
Yes, sir.
It literally means they go into your hot water heater, your furnace, whatever. Is that right?
That's correct. We'll check all appliances, and we need to have access to the gas meter as well. So that's why we need someone home at the time.
And if you would clarify, how many customers affected?
My note is 17,000, sir.
17,000.
Yes, sir.
This is, if I understand correctly, is as far west as Pontotoc, is it pretty much most of Lee County?
Yes, sir, that's correct. Again, Tupelo, Belden, Guntown, Plantersville, Pontotoc, Saltillo, Shannon, and Verona, sir. These are the impacted
I
areas.
have a quick question, and this kind of looks down the line a little bit, and I appreciate, y'all letting us know and keeping the public up to date. So down the line, I was told by someone who has lived in Plantersville for a long time that something similar happened about 40 or so years ago. Of course, there wasn't as many people living here then, but infrastructure, that's always a big thing. I know our federal government is talking about infrastructure repairs and upgrades. Can anything be done? And I think a lot of folks, I understand y'all are doing what you can under the circumstances, but can anything be done infrastructure-wise where things don't have to be done in the future, like house to house or home to home or business to business? And I know it's a costly process. A lot of people have to be involved, but what are y'all's thoughts on that? And that may be a question too for Commissioner.
Well, sir, we operate the system 24/7, 365. We have an office here. We've invested millions into our pipe replacement projects and our distribution system as a whole. Seldom does a day go by where we're not constantly working or modernizing our system again. What occurred yesterday had nothing to do with infrastructure, sir.
Commissioner?
To answer the question, our Pipeline Safety Division does work, again, around the state to make sure that they're evaluating and monitoring the system. So we're actively doing that every day as well.
One more, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Mayor, just one. As far as, now I've lost my train. Okay. To get it back on, I'm trying to think in terms of the customer. You said it might be days, it might be weeks.
Again, I can't give you a definitive. I can't say, sir.
All right.
But that's why we've brought the resources to bear in order to do this as safely, as quickly as possible.
How would you prioritize the turn back on?
Sir, again, right now, we're prioritizing those critical care facilities, CNG, making sure that the human needs of the city and the county are taken care of. And then it'll be a process that's up to our technical services group, and it'll be a methodical, systematic process in terms of restoration to the system. And again, we have to do it in a safe manner. So there are a lot of factors that go into that, sir.
Can you prioritize some of the businesses here, like the restaurants that are going to be impacted financially by this?
Ma'am, thank you for the question. As of this time right now, CNG, compressed natural gas, where we can temporarily restore service, has only been designated for those critical care facilities. I will inquire with the group regarding businesses, but that's something I can't answer right now, ma'am, but I'll look into it.
By critical care, hospitals, clinics?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
The initial, okay, we're not calling it an explosion, but something, a valve blew, people said they heard a boom. What was that? And tell us what caused it. Can you say what caused that? What was the problem?
I can't say the cause. What I know is that a qualified contractor working for our system, doing scheduled work for us, was doing work on the system, and there was an accidental release of high-pressure gas. And when there is an accidental release of high-pressure gas, it creates that sound. But it is not classified as an explosion because gas did not ignite and because there was no evacuation, sir. So I think that's an important distinction.
And you were there to work on a leak or something?
We were doing routine work. This is not what occurred yesterday was not associated with the leak, sir.
Okay, because that was, okay.
By the way, when was the last time Atmos has had to do this, where they've had to bring a bunch of folks together like this to try to get things back to where they need to be? Assuming this is not an everyday thing.
Well, it is standard operating procedures for an investor-owned gas utility that operates in 8 states. If there a need arises, that's one of the great advantages because we can bring assets to bear. We did have an outage in Jackson in January 24, and we brought resources to bear there.
Okay. If y'all want to do individual, just let us know real quick, and then so. Thank you.
That's it. All right. That's it.